All right. Just want to take a minute here and encourage you to speak up. A couple months ago, I was invited to a board meeting of the homeschool charter that we're part of. It's a charter school that caters to homeschool parents. We've been part of it for a few years. It's great. We love it. It fits our lifestyle. And we heard from the teacher that we're assigned to that they were thinking of complying with mandates for the teachers first and didn't know about for students. Well, the crazy part is everything's virtual. We never meet in person, and there's no reason to mandate it. So I decided to join their board meeting in October, and they got started. It's a Zoom call. There are about 20 people on it, mostly board members, look like a number of parents. And right out of the gate, they offered to have question and answer open forum time for anybody that wanted to speak publicly. So I unmuted myself and raised my hand. Had no idea what their agenda was, what they've talked about before, what their policies are, nothing. Completely blind. So I jumped in a little hesitantly, said, "Look, I don't know what your agenda is. I'm just going to speak freely." Our teacher listed her name, has informed us that you guys are thinking of complying with the state of California mandates. And just wanted to speak up and let you know that we are against it. And any form of compliance and enforcement will cause us to pull our kids out immediately. We don't care about the semester. We don't care about the status. We don't care about the budget. We will pull them out immediately and want you to know that. And we think that standing up against these mandates is important, especially for a school that is as focused on liberty and freedom as this school is to support homeschoolers. And I got a couple comments in the chat in Zoom from other parents thanking me. I was thanked by the board. I was invited to a parent meeting that was meeting a couple days later that they were launching for a parent advocacy group and decided to join that. So I left it and I heard a few more. I stuck around and listened to a few conversations by the board members and one of the, I think she's the director. She spoke about everything she's doing to try to avoid the mandates and to try to avoid compliance and take the exemptions, the religious exemptions, and do what they could. That still wasn't enough, in my opinion. So, followed up with an email to her, speaking clearly, speaking encouragingly, that I think it's our job to force the state to take massive legal action and really show their hand if they're going to shut a school down over this stuff. And she thanked me, said how hard it was. I couldn't make the October or the November event, so I joined again just last night. And this time, first I found out that I was the first parent ever to speak up at a board meeting. So they want to hear from you. Everybody wants to hear from you. There's no rules, there's no requirements that you have to meet some criteria. And so I ended up going to the parent advocacy group later that week. And the gal that facilitated it was great. She was very open and asked questions, and we got to talk a lot deeper. And she asked really probing questions, and I gave her my opinion that no, I will not comply on any level, and I will not participate or support it. And everybody on that meeting, there were about 7 or 8 of us, all agreed, even the gal facilitating it. And it was great. It was very encouraging. Everybody was very encouraged. So I showed up last night to the meeting just to keep speaking, just keep standing up, keep making my voice heard. And same as before, started right out of the gate, raised my hand. This time I was a little bit more prepared. I knew what was coming. And there's so much legal precedence now. There have been so many cases. Just yesterday was South Carolina making the ruling against the mandates from the federal level. I think that was for federal contractors. And so I came armed with that stuff. And I just mentioned that my policy hasn't changed and that more and more parents have come to me and agreed that we will all pull our kids out if these mandates are enforced. And again, I had another parent thank me in the chat. And then she jumped in, gave her piece, said the same thing. And then another father jumped on, and he's ex military. And I really appreciated his perspective because he's bled for this country and he has friends who have died for this country. And yeah, it's just moving. It's moving to think about that and his power behind his words last night. And he spoke very bluntly and very powerfully against the mandates. And so it was great. I appreciated the encouragement. And I messaged back to the gal that encouraged me, thanked me. I said, just wind me up and point me where you want me to go. And she reminded me to go and talk to the director who had reached out to in October. So sure enough, I emailed the director. She wasn't there. She was running late. And I said that I was on and that I was encouraged by their progress to resist the mandates. And she invited me to a meeting. And I'm going to meet with her and the board of the director of the board next Wednesday in their office for an hour to help brainstorm and plan around how to resist these mandates. And so I just want to encourage you, stand up and speak wherever you're at. Everything is make believe. There's not a single thing on earth that wasn't first invented in somebody's head. And rules are no different. And even cultural norms, they're all make believe. And it's up to us to push back and tell what we want. I tell my kids all the time, you don't get what you don't ask for. And right now, we need to ask and we need to demand that our freedoms are protected and that these policymakers are pushed back continuously until this entire ship is turned around 180 degrees and heading in the right direction. Because a little bit of pushback isn't going to stop it. It's going to take forceful pushback consistently for years to stop the momentum that they've built over the last couple of years with all of this chaos and insanity. And so I just want to encourage you to speak up. Don't worry if your voice flutters. Don't worry if you get angry. Don't worry if you call somebody a name. It doesn't matter. Any pushback's good pushback right now. Obviously, some pushback's better than others and more effective than others, but we need to all rise up. We need to give our voices power. We need to be heard, and we need to encourage each other and build that little ant army that will take over the grasshoppers, because there are way more of us than there are of them, and they're all powerless. That's why they've been scrambling. That's why they've been reacting and creating such ridiculous rules the last couple of years. It's gotten worse and worse as time's gone on because they realize their grasp and their power and their control is waning. So be encouraged, speak up. I'm going to reach out and start talking to my city and county representatives and tell them what I expect and what I think, and that I don't care if they have a career or not. That doesn't matter, because if this ship goes down the way it's going, nobody's going to have a political career and none of this is going to matter. So we need to speak up and we need to take a stand. So I hope that's encouraging. Leave a comment. Let me know where you're speaking out. Feel free to follow me on Facebook. That's probably where you found this. But I tend to have conversations there that are meaningful. I share my ideas there. I don't think it's particularly effective or influential, but it is definitely encouraged and built quite a community there. But I think on the grassroots local level is where the power is right now. And you need to band together and go out and push back hard against school boards, against county public health departments, against city mayors, against police forces. Thankfully, I don't think any police forces are enforcing any of this stuff, but you definitely need to band together and go push back, and push back hard. Take care.